Before Terrifier, there was this. Let's talk about Damien Leone's All Hallows Eve. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 2013 horror anthology flick All Hallows Eve. Edited, written, and directed by Damien Leone in his feature film directorial debut. The film is presented as a series of shorts that two children and their babysitter discover on an unmarked videotape on Halloween night, all of which feature a homicidal clown named Art the Clown, starring Katie McGuire, Catherine Callahan, Marie Master, and Kayla Lynn, with Mike Gianelli as Art. It incorporates footage from the 2008 short film The Ninth Circle, as well as well the 2011 Terrifier short film. So by before Terrifier, I as in the beginning, I mean as in before the movie. Both of which were also directed by Leone and featured Art the Clown. The film was released direct to video by Image Entertainment and was produced by RLJ Entertainment for Ruthless Pictures. It was released on October 29, 2013, so henceforth I'm a little early for its 10-year anniversary. Now, and it's received mixed reviews. Now, after a night of trick or treating on Halloween, a babysitter named Sarah is surprised to see that children Tia and Timmy have received an unmarked VHS tape in one of their bags. The children convince Sarah to allow them to watch it, which contains three stories, each of which feature a homicidal clown named Art. Now, the first segment features a young woman named Casey who is drugged and kidnapped by Art while waiting for a train, and she awakens to find herself chained in a room with two other women named Kristen and Sarah. When Sarah is dragged away by her chain, Casey and Kristen decide to follow her, where their chains lead. But upon reaching the end, Casey attempts to break the chains with a large rock, but is interrupted by a deformed humanoid who dismembers Kristen with a cleaver. Yes, and Satan is here too. Now, in the second segment, now I'm not going to give the whole story, all three stories away, because if you've not seen this, I'm not going to give the whole stories away. The next segment featured Caroline, a woman who just moved into a new countryside home. A bright object crashes near the house at night, and a power outage occurs. She finds her phone and car malfunction and suspects that someone other than herself is in the house. She receives a call from her husband John, but the connection soon breaks and she discovers that she is being stalked by an alien. But it really turns out to be a real shock in the end. But again, not going to tell you how that ends because I don't want to make this um completely complete with full spoilers or anything. And the third and final segment features a costume designer driving down an isolated road. Stopping at a gas station, she finds the attendant furiously kicking out Art, who had apparently smeared, crud on the gas station's bathroom walls. The attendant fills her tank and hears a noise from inside the gas station while giving the costume designer directions. He goes inside to investigate, and when he does not return, the costume designer enters the building and sees Art chopping up the attendant's body with a hacksaw. She flees and a chase ensues, and Art eventually appears behind her car, her seat in the car, and attempts to suffocate her with cellophane. She slams on the brakes and escapes, barricading herself inside a large shed. But however, Art catches up and slashes her with a makeshift whip composed of sharp instruments and really turns into a real big fight until he has her. Soon after that, Sarah turns off the television, but she answers it and she hears a costume designer from the third segment pleading for help. but something really does happen to in really big time in the end, especially for the kids. But I will not give that away because if you've because I don't know if a lot of people have seen this movie, but if you have, I apologize. I don't want to give this whole story away. Sorry. So anyway, what did I think of this film? I'm gonna say it was alright and what have you. I unfortunately fell asleep during my first time watch, but I still enjoyed for what I saw and what have you. And seeing Art the Clown's debut before, well, the titular film of Terrifier, which was released 3 years later. Now, for our performances, we have Kay McGuire playing Sarah, who was good. Catherine Callahan played Caroline, she was good, and Marie Master played the costume designer. Yeah, and Kayla Leanne played Casey. Next, we have Sydney Freehofer as Tia and Cole Mathewson as Timmy. The two kids were pretty good, but and there's lots of others, but I gotta give Mike Gianelli for the thumbs up for playing Art the Clown though. Now, of course, he wouldn't reprise that role for the Terrifier film. Somebody else would do that. Anyway, the film received mixed reviews. The Oklahoma Gazette said that what the film lacks in production value, Damien Leone makes up for it in pure passion. Yes, Leone is also the makeup artist for this film as well. One can tell this guy loves the spirit of the season, and it shows in its terror trilogy, which has all the makings of becoming a minor cult hit. Any Cold News praised the character of Art, calling him somewhat iconic and pretty terrifying, but criticized the film's paper thin storyline, writing that I can only imagine the fear would have been multiplied exponentially if had the filmmakers spent as much time on the story as they did with coming up with creepy as all get out monster. One writer for Fangoria said the film's first segment makes absolutely no sense and called the second segment inexcusably uninteresting, but referring to the third segment as easily the best of the three. Yeah, I have to agree, the third one was probably the best one of them all. But anyway, Dread Central wrote that Art could be destined to become a horror icon, concluding through all of its flaws, the film shows tremendous talent both in front of and behind the camera. While it's not a perfect film, it hints at a promising future for Leone and, if we're lucky, Art the Clown. And right he was. That review was Brad McHargue of Dread Central. So right he was. Well, HorrorNews.net called it easily one of the scariest films I've seen this year. That's according to Adrian Halen. Writing that it tends to transcend its own setting by playing on viewers' fears and sense of nightmarish realism. Agreed. This film does have its flaws, but nevertheless, it proves to be a real fright fest of three scary stories. Its music by Noir Deco was pretty good too. Anyway, it would go on to have a standalone anthology sequel released a couple years later on video on demand digital in October 2015, and then got released on DVD a three well 4 months later the following year. And then, of course, that same year, Terrifier, the film itself, was released. So, with everything I've said about this film, would I recommend All Hallows Eve? Well, I'd say sure, go ahead. I mean, if you'd like to see how Art the Clown got started, then I'd say go for it. And in other words, let me rephrase that. I'd say a one time watch, just in case. So, anyway, All Hallows Eve, it wasn't too bad. But what did you think of this film? Let me know in the comments section below. If you liked the video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you my review of Damien Leone's Terrifier itself. Yes. So I do hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, consider checking out my reviews for these other Fright Fests and what have you. In the upper left hand corner is my review of the film Hereditary from 2018. The upper right hand corner is my review of the remake of Fright Night from 2011, or go to the bottom left hand corner and see my review of Get Out from 2017. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.